Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabby. I am your host, and welcome back to the Learning Lounge. Next to me, I have
Timbria.
Vanessa.
Tyson.
Okay, so last week we spoke to Dr. McKees Hawley about his involvement in the Institute of Community Partnerships at USF. And before we retouch on all of our feelings about it, I just want to remind the audience about what the Community Partnership Initiative is. So, described by Dr. Hawley, it's a network of community partnerships that connects health, education, higher education, and other essential organizations to create a network to enhance the life of the community. We're going to be giving a special introduction to the community of Tampa Bay and what missions they have and what makes them so special. But for now, I want to go back and kind of get reflections about the interview. So, starting with you, Timbria, why did you ask the questions that you did ask, and how did you feel about his answers?
I wanted to know, because growing up, and I'm a parent myself, sometimes you just don't make it to class, and I wanted to know, other than a grade, how important is school. And I loved how he mentioned that when you don't come to school, you don't get to build relationships with the people or the officials that are a part of that school. So when we're talking about how important teachers are and how they impact the students' lives, if we're not in the school, we can't make that connection. So I liked his answers for the most part.
So my questions focused a lot on disparities between minority communities versus like in public school, city schooling versus private school. It's because I went to school in the city school. I went to school in the city. That's predominantly Black and Hispanic. And so whenever I noticed that the divide between public school and private, whenever we go to field trips or something, in the city school, it's so poor that we had to walk through the city.
Oh.
There were no
so
buses
they?
unless we had to go somewhere an hour away, but if it was in the city, a few miles were okay, we're walking through the winter. It was crazy. And then you see I guess not really a private school, but public schools that are in suburban areas that will also go to the same field trip. They're just passing by on the bus. So it's you can see when it comes to funding, what they choose, what schools they choose to fund more based on the fact that there's more minorities grouped together in city schools than in suburban schools. So I think Dr. Hawley, when I asked the question about, I think it was if he's seen any improvement regarding the lack of funding, such as food, material, and teacher qualifications, I think his response to saying that, for teacher qualifications in most city schools, as long as there's a warm body and a legal adult, they don't really care, which kind of creates the idea that education is a business. And that was really thought-provoking, and I was just wow. So yeah.
I asked Dr. Hawley those specific questions because I wanted to get to the root of the systemic issues that affect educational access, especially in Hillsborough County for undeserved communities. The first question about barriers was important because I knew he could speak to me about what's actually happening behind the scenes with policy decisions and funding priorities that most people don't see. The second question about transportation came from wanting to understand a very real, everyday obstacle that a lot of students face just trying to get to school. I also wanted to know if anything was actually being done to solve these issues, and his perspective helped me connect the dots between policy, community voice, and real-world student outcomes, which is exactly what our project is about. So.
for me, okay, so I had a class with Dr. Holly, and like literally it's like crazy a coincidence that like we're interviewing him, because like I had a study abroad program, and the class that I had with him, I was with the creator of it, and like we were staying in the same hotel, and like even though she's not old at all, but like she's older than me, and she's like professor age, like we were so cool. She's such a cool lady. And
Where did you go?
I went to Colombia.
Nice.
It's really, really nice. That was my first time like out of the country.
That's cool.
And like me and her were talking about just like how frustrating it is that like some courses have to be like edited out, and like her course had to be. And like I casually mentioned that course to her, not knowing she created it. Like I was just like, that was my favorite course freshman year. And I really liked Dr. Holly. And then she was like, oh, I'll make sure to mention that, and then da-da-da-da. And now we're here. And we interviewed him. So I wanted to make sure that I'm like talking to him about his experience teaching that course, and kind of like with the knowledge that like I know what type of teacher he was and how passionate he was. And like I really wanted to like kind of indulge in his perspective, and like how he really felt about being like expected to basically not silence, but just kind of tiptoe around certain subjects that are essential to that class. And like I was low-key worried that like he was gonna like censor, because like a lot of professors and teachers don't like talking about these things, even if they do care about it, because they don't want to get fired. And like I also didn't want to like put him in an uncomfortable position, but like that was not even an issue. Like he answered everything really nicely. So I'm really happy with the interview, and I'm really glad that like we got to talk to Dr. Holly. And he's really nice. But anyways, let's turn back to the organization that he mentioned towards the end of the podcast. He wanted us to specifically highlight the Community Tampa Bay project. But before that, I kind of want to give Rashid, who is not here today, a opportunity to talk about different organizations, the Boys and Girls Club, which I think that one a lot of people know locally and just around the country. So he's going to talk about what they're doing for the community, specifically in Hillsborough County. So we're just going to give him that chance to put it into the conversation. So
hello everyone, my name is Abdurrashid Samino, and today I want to talk about a local initiative here in Tampa Bay area that is making a real difference in the life of young people, especially when it comes to education. We'll explore how Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay support quality education, which directly connect to United Nations Sustainability Development Goal 4, SDG. So what is SDG 4? This goal is about ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all. It means breaking down barriers that prevent kids from accessing education, whether that's poverty, limited resources, underfunded school, or social challenges. It also means creating learning environment where all students can strive no matter their background. Here in Hillsborough County and across Tampa Bay, not all students have same access to quality education. That's where Boys and Girls Club of Tampa Bay comes in. This non-profit organization saves over 20,000 kids annually, Hillsborough County and Pasco counties. Their mission is to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. Education is at the heart of everything they do. The club provides safe, support space for kids to go after school or during the summer times when young people are almost vulnerable to failing behind academically or getting involved in risk behavior. But it's not just about keeping them busy, it's about building them up. Let's talk about some of their education programs. One of the core offering is Power Hour, an after-school homework help and tutoring session where staff and volunteers assist kids with their schoolwork. This not only improve grade but also build discipline, consistent, and academic confidence. They also offer STEM program that expose students hand-on-hand learning in science, technology, engineering, and math. Many of these kids introduced to coding, robotic, and computer program of very first time at club, opening doors for future careers in tech and innovation. Another major initiative is Career Launch, which help teens explore different careers paths, practice job interviews, build resume, and even gain internship opportunities for many teens. This is their fixed exposure to profession develop or higher education planning. And then there are literacy programs. This focus on helping kids, especially young students, build strong reading and comprehension skills. This is crucial. This is crucial because literacy in the early years is one of the biggest predictor of long-term academic success. The impact of the program is clear. According to their late report, 83% of club members maintain their school grade, and 90 of teens expect graduate from high school, with many planning to pursue college or trade school. That's an incredible resource for an after-school program, and it shows how much difference this kind of support can make. Now, why does this matter in Tampa as a community? Well, Hillsborough County faces real education challenges. Some schools are underfunded, some neighbor lack of safe environment for kids to learn, and many families are dealing with financial stress. The clubs provide a free or low solution that meet kids where they are, both geographically and emotionally. These are not just helping the kid to do better in school, they are helping building strong community. When kids support in their education, they are more likely to stay out of trouble, graduate, find a job, and give back to the community in the future. That's the ripple effect of investing in young and education. The Boys and Girls Club in Tampa Bay are a perfect example of how initiative can contribute to global goals, and they are actively working towards SDG 4 by providing equitable access, learning, and lifelong skills, giving every child fair shot to success, regardless of their background. If you are looking to get involved, there are many ways to help, whether it's donating, volunteering, mentoring, or simple spreading awareness. You can make an impact because we lift out our youth, we lift out our entire community. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped and shine the light of how powerful organizations like Boys and Girls Community in Tampa Bay. Thank you. Bye.
So that was actually really interesting to hear about, because some of the things that Boys and Girls Club is doing, the Community Tampa Bay is doing the same thing. So at Community Tampa Bay, they also have like workplace and professional education programs to get students into the workforce, considering whatever their interest is. Like, they have legal options, they have opportunities for the students to visit universities, and they start as early as kindergarten and they stop at as high as the university level. So they're involved in the community all steps of the way. And just to give you guys a brief idea, this is not their mission statement, but this is my summary of their mission statement. So they seek to empower inclusive leaders to create change in the communities by offering culture education and guiding challenging conversations. So they firmly believe that cross-cultural interaction and dialogue are essential tools for breaking down all forms of discrimination. I personally heavily agree with that. And I see why Dr. Holly highlighted this, because this is something that was kind of the entire makeup of the course that I had with him about just multicultural education and those interactions and that creative dialogue and how it can help us solve complex issues. But on the Community Tampa Bay website, some of their core goals are diversity, inclusion, and engagement. So let's kind of get into what that means. So some of the programs that they have this 2025 Youth Summit where they're going to bring in a bunch of students and it's kind of like a community partnership. So they have students teaching other students. So there's a couple initiatives that the Community Tampa Bay have on their website. They call it their programs. So kind of just want all of us to kind of give a special shout out and introduction to some of them. So for me, I really wanted to highlight their youth conferences. So they take around 40 to 50 students, and throughout that day, they just have empowerment experiences to give them inspiration to do more in the community and also provide empathy for people like us and also different from us. And they have action planning and application of skills that they're going to be talking to the students about. On their website, they have like a little picture of I guess it's like a sheet where they had our vision for change in the middle, and they gave us each student a section to write their ideas. So you can tell they're young, but some of the ones that they have are not to treat me badly, respect, be kind and respectful, no school shootings. That's so sad.
Wow.
Oh.
They have that on there. That's good.
Yeah. And then the rest I can't really read. But it seems like a really cute idea to just give voices to the students about what they think they want changed in the community for a better life for not only themselves, but even the people around them that might be different to them. So I think that's really cute. And yeah. What about you guys? What did you guys like to see or highlight?
I would like to highlight the Advocacy Academy that the community of Tampa Bay has. They do a bunch of different things for service projects like cleanups, clothing drives, trips to the Capitol, meet with legislators, and present actual proposals for the community. And I think it's really important because it shows that representation sometimes isn't enough. There has to be preparation and participation so that we can actually make a change, because so often, especially being like a minority student, if you can get through school, just get through school. If you can't, sometimes it is what it is. But I know a lot of the times I was told to like be quiet. You know, you would raise your hand and you would never get called on. So I'm just stop raising my hand, you know. But this program lets us know that like it puts minority students in a position to have their voices actually heard in a meaningful way. So I think the Advocacy Academy is very special. What other programs are there?
So on the website, I found a program under community conversations, and one of them is the Pathways to Understanding. So it says Tampa Bay region of Florida is home to tens of thousands of Muslims of South Asian, Middle Eastern European, Central Asian, North African heritage, each of whom are of different races, ethnicities, gender identities, sexual orientations, and etc. And it says, why is Pathways to Understanding so important is just it's just having an open mind, being kind, respectful of other cultures, especially living in a country that is extremely diverse and will continue to be more diverse. Like I said, as society becomes more intertwined on a global scale, countries' demographics diversify and our cross-cultural exchanges become more frequent. And I guess one of the main examples on this website is about the increasing number of Islam in the world and in America, and dispelling myths about Islam. And also this goes for different religions and different cultures.
The program I found that I liked, it's called Huddle for Change. And I believe it's what it says is it's a strong example of how communication can drive real and lasting change. The initiative Huddle for Change is a partnership between the Super Bowl host committee and the NFL Inspire Change and Community Tampa Bay. And it brings together community members, grassroots activists, nonprofit leaders, academics, and business professionals for open and honest discussion about systemic racism and racial inequality. What I found most impactful is that these conversations are grounded in evidence-based research, like the Tampa Bay Racial Sentiment Survey and the Regional Equity Report. Huddle for Change doesn't just encourage people to talk, it challenges them to listen, reflect, and work together on tangible steps to dismantle systemic injustices in our area. It's a model of how communities can come together across different sectors to confront hard truths and take action, and it really resonates with the goals of our podcast.
That's really good.
That's such a good one to end off on. I really see why Dr. Holly wanted us to highlight this one. So the audience watching, definitely check out Community Tampa Bay. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, think about volunteering. If you're a student, and you think you can utilize any of those sources that we talked about, do it. But that is not the only one. I have a master list in front of me of a bunch of organizations that I'm going to just pick a few to shout out. There is some of them everyone knows, like the American Cancer Society, Boys and Girls Club, like Rashid mentioned. There's an organization for individuals with Down syndrome called Friends. Friends is an acronym if you went to search it up. It's in West Florida. There's Feeding Tampa Bay, which does collaborate with USF. Tampa Bay Harvest, Tampa Bay Fighters Museum, Tampa General Hospital. And, as I say some of these, you might be thinking these have nothing to do with education, but they do. And if you were to search through the UN goal, quality education, and you look at those targets, it's not only just, education and giving education to students. It's about empowering them. It's about getting them into the workforce. And it's not just kids. It's also adult education as well. So all of these organizations contributing to good health, well-being, that all contributes to someone's opportunity to seek quality education. So keep that in mind when searching opportunities for yourself, that it's not just, organizations that have education in the name. It's also things that you might not think of, like the Advent Health, for example. In conclusion, everyone, this is our last podcast session. I'll give you guys a chance to give any final comments if you want to, but I'm really happy that we got the opportunity to just unite as a group with such diverse perspectives and connect with the audience, and we appreciate you guys for watching and listening. But yeah, thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
bye.